Okay, it is 7 p.m. and we are ready to begin our third session of the evening. I am Deborah Fraser McCormick, and I teach in the Criminal Justice and Law Pathway at Alliance Academy, along with my partner, my pathway partner, Holly Scroggs. We're very excited to have everyone tuning in this evening to learn more about our pathway and more about our school. I am a former practicing attorney, and I teach the law side of criminal justice and law. My partner, Holly Scroggs, is a former police officer, and she teaches the criminal investigations side of our criminal justice and law team. We like to call ourselves Law and Order AAI, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun working together, and our students are phenomenal. As we go through our presentation this evening, we're going to be showing you a video and having some live Q&A sessions with several students we have. We have students from all three levels of our classes, and they are very eager to answer your questions from both students and parents, prospective students and parents. We also have graduation coach Lisa Oswald, and she is available to answer a lot of questions about application process and other things with regard to our school. And we just are really happy that you're here. We don't often get to do things like this, or we do these presentations, so we're trying to get rid of any glitches and make sure that we have a smooth presentation for you. So I encourage you to go ahead and start typing in any questions that you have in the discussion post. They won't be visible to other people, so don't worry about asking something, if you're not sure you want other people to see it. We will field those questions. Mrs. Scroggs and Mrs. Oswald are both reviewing those questions as they come in. So we'll either type responses or we'll save those and have our students answer those after a video. So I'm going to introduce Mrs. Holly Scroggs, my partner in crime here, and she'll take it away from there. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Ms. McCormick. I am Mrs. Holly Scroggs, and I am the criminal investigations teacher here at Alliance Academy for Innovation, and I absolutely love teaching at this school. It's the greatest school around. We have our first video, and actually we are going to only show you this one video because we've decided that the other one is not necessary, because actually our students are answering the questions in a very good way. So our first video is going to be a compilation of 4 different videos. The first portion is going to be me answering or talking about the criminal investigations pathway. The second video that you'll see is one of our fantastic third-year students, Simran Oliver, and she's going to be talking about the criminal investigations pathway from the student perspective. Then we have our third video, which is going to be Mrs. McCormick talking about the applications of law pathway. And then the fourth video will be of her student, Joshua Abraham, who's going to talk about the applications of law pathway from the student perspective. So without further ado, here it is.
Hello, and welcome to the Criminal Investigations Lab here at Alliance Academy for Innovation. My name is Holly Scroggs, and I teach the Criminal Investigations Pathway here at Alliance Academy for Innovation. This is a unique pathway within Forsyth County. As a former police officer and a former student participant in a high school criminal justice pathway, I have the benefit of bringing a variety of experiences into the classroom. The Criminal Investigations Pathway encompasses 3 courses. The first is Introduction to Law, Public Safety, Corrections, and Security. This course broadly focuses on how each of these careers work together to protect the community. The second course is Criminal Justice Essentials. In this course, we learn about and practice basic law enforcement skills, as well as dive into both criminal and constitutional law. The third course is Criminal Investigations. Throughout this course, we explore the basic processes and principles of a criminal investigation. The students have the opportunity to process a mock crime scene, which is always fun. Throughout the second and third year courses, Forsyth County Sheriff's deputies visit our classrooms frequently to engage with students and teach them.
At Alliance Academy for Innovation, students have the privilege to work with top-of-the-line real-world equipment. Here is some of the equipment we work with in the criminal investigations pathway. In this picture, you'll see multiple items. You'll see a duty belt, which includes handcuffs, training firearm, training magazines, a training taser, training pepper spray, and a training baton. It is important to note that these are replica weapons, and unless thrown at someone, cannot cause harm. We also use crime scene processing kits, which includes fingerprinting equipment. A cool piece of fingerprinting equipment that can be found in most crime labs is a cyanoacrylate fuming chamber. We have one at Alliance Academy for Innovation. We also have a firearms training simulator in the building provided by the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office.
In the criminal investigations pathway, students have the benefit of hearing from many experienced guest speakers. Students also have the opportunity to attend multiple industry tours, including tours of the 911 Communication Center, a fire station, the Forsyth County Courthouse, a prison, and a medical examiner's office. The criminal investigations pathway falls under a CTSO called SkillsUsa. Criminal investigation students are highly encouraged to participate in Alliance Academy's chapter of SkillsUsa, which has been recognized statewide as a gold chapter of distinction every year since the school opened. Thank you so much for your interest. I hope you consider joining the criminal investigations pathway at Alliance Academy for Innovation. See you soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Simran Oliver. I'm a student at Alliance Academy for Innovation and I'm in my third year of the criminal investigations pathway. When I started attending school here, I was a bit apprehensive because I didn't know whether I would actually enjoy being in classes that were so career oriented. Within the first few days, however, that feeling quickly dissipated. I came to realize that my teacher was so passionate about teaching the content and the curriculum was both intriguing and engaging. Over the past 3 years, I have learned about policing techniques, crime scene investigation, and criminal law. Additionally, I have had the opportunity to do immersive labs dealing with conducting traffic stops, extinguishing fires, handcuffing, and a couple other things along those lines. What I want to say to you all is that you should really consider applying to an alliance and enrolling under the criminal justice and law grouping if you have really any interest whatsoever. At the very least, you will be exposed to a career that you were curious about, but if you really apply yourself to the coursework and take the time to pursue this possible path, you will definitely learn a lot, become experienced in a unique field, have opportunities for leadership development, internships, networking with experts in the community, and so much more. So this is a truly amazing opportunity. Please don't let the high school experience of a lifetime pass you by.
Hello, and welcome to our courtroom at Alliance Academy for Innovation. My name is Deborah Fraser McCormick, and I teach the Applications of Law pathway within the School of Criminal Justice and Law. I am a former litigation attorney and now have the privilege of teaching various aspects of the law and trial procedure to our amazing students. We are the only high school in Forsyth County offering this program and the only one to have a courtroom built into our classroom. I also serve as an advisor for SkillsUsa, which one of my senior students will discuss in our student video. The Applications of Law pathway has 3 courses and an internship opportunity in the 4th year. We study all aspects of the law and have many lively discussions and debates on legal issues. But what our students really look forward to are the opportunities to learn and practice in the courtroom. Everything from jury selection to opening statements, cross-examinations, and closing arguments. Let's take a look as one of our courtroom dramas unfold.
Mr. Katie, you do have a previous criminal record, correct?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Katie, you haven't talked to Ash Harper since high school, correct?
No, I have not.
And Mr. Katie, the Wednesday before the bank robbery, what did you and Ash Harper talk about in the Swedish Bulldog Cafe?
Objection, Your Honor. This question calls for hearsay under Rule 801.
Your response?
Your Honor, pursuant to Rule 801 D2E, this question is allowed in a court.
Overruled.
Katie, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I'm good. So basically that day we went to the cafe to talk about robbing the actual bank. He gave us all the plans and how we're gonna get there. And basically we were trying to figure out how to get some quick cash.
As part of our program, we have guest speakers including practicing attorneys, judges, police officers, and other individuals in various careers in the law. When available, we plan to attend actual trials in the Forsyth County Courthouse. We are currently working with an attorney to have our students act as a focus group for potential jury selection in a real case, which they are quite excited about. I hope you will consider Alliance Academy for Innovation and choose Applications of Law as your pathway.
Hey everyone, my name is Joshua Abraham. I'm in the School of Criminal Justice and Law, and I'm taking the Applications of Law pathway. I joined this pathway because I have a great passion for the American legal system, and this was the perfect opportunity for me to expand on it. I'm also in this CTSO called Skillsusa. We focus on enhancing your personal, workplace, and technical skills inside and outside of the classrooms. We have tons of competitions for you to learn and to practice in and enhance your learning outside of the classroom. My recommendation to anyone who wants to join this pathway is to come with an open mind and an eagerness to learn.
Okay, so that's a little bit about what we do. We actually use that video. Some of you may have attended a career fair live event, or I guess that's getting ready to happen soon. But we made videos to try to recruit some 8th graders to our pathway, and we're hoping that that helps to answer some of your questions. We have some great students on here, and they've actually dressed up on a school night. So we want to take advantage of that and be able to have them answer some of your questions and show them live on screen. We're going to have about, we've got a little bit over maybe 15, we've got about 18 minutes left, and we'd love to hear questions from our viewers, so that we can put these kids on the spot and show you how good they are at answering things and speaking in front of the class. My first question, I'm going to pose a question to Varun. Varun is a 3rd-year student, and he's in the Applications of Law pathway. And I'd like to ask Varun, I'm going to put your video up so you can see him. Good. All right. So Varun, what are some of the most interesting things that you cover in class, either this year or last year or your first year?
Yep, thank you for the amazing introduction. Now, in terms of interesting things, I think a lot is interesting in the class. Being in it for 3 years, I learned that. But I think the 2 most interesting things is interpreting existing law and creating the blueprint and framework for new law. One of the main things that we do here at the Law Pathway is we try to interpret constitutional law. We had a con law unit a little bit freshman year, sophomore year, and more in my junior year of high school, my 3rd year of the pathway. We learned about certain amendments to the Constitution, how to interpret the way the framers worded their certain articles, and that really helped us out with learning about American democracy as a whole, and also just the Constitution as a whole document. And probably the biggest other thing that I'm interested in the pathway is kind of creating new law and blueprints for new law. At the beginning of this year, my 3rd year of law, it was kind of a different opportunity for us to really engage with the law beyond interpreting. We kind of looked at municipal governments and figured out ways in which they can kind of curb drug crimes, curb and increase school safety, things like that, create laws that can do that. So it really does come back to the law and how you interpret and create new law. And that's super, super interesting to me. And I know a lot of my friends love that as well.
Okay, great answer. Thank you. I'm going to pose one more question. I think I'm going to pick on Abby a little bit this time. Abby is in my introductory class. She is, it is unusual though, because not unusual, she's a sophomore. So this is her 2nd pathway. So you can complete 2 full pathways while you're here. So Abby is in, I believe, the healthcare pathway, but I'm going to have her answer that for herself. And then she has now started in the legal services applications of law, and possibly, I think, firefighting pathway. So she's in our intro class. Abby, get your pretty face up here. All right, so Abby, first, I'd like you to just talk about what it's like being in the introductory class and some things you're enjoying in there. And then I'm going to ask you a little bit about your new position with our CTSO. So go ahead and talk about your pathway, our class a bit, and then we can focus on SkillsUSA.
All right, so I'm currently in an intro class as a sophomore, which is not it's not a common experience right now. Typically, you take your intro class as a freshman, but this is my second pathway. My first pathway is emergency medical responders. My second pathway is fire safety. And in order to take the fire safety course, I have to take this introductory course, which encompasses fire safety and public safety. So part of that, it means being in a class mostly comprised of freshmen, which is not something that I've done before simply because my course load doesn't really have a lot of classes that freshmen would take. But it's definitely been a lot of fun to be able to work with people who are younger than me, people who are experiencing their first year of high school during a pandemic. It's crazy, but it's a lot of fun, and everyone really enjoys that class, whether you're a sophomore or a freshman. And I enjoy being in that class and being able to see you know, how people are experiencing an intro class again after I've already experienced one, knowing what I'm supposed to do, knowing what I'm supposed to be. So it's a lot of fun looking back on it, and it's a unique experience that I'm glad I have.
Excellent. And I will say to everyone that I consider Abby one of the leaders in that class, and she helps out a lot of our other students that are freshmen, just kind of feeling their way through what it's like, navigating what it's like in a pathway class. And then briefly, Abby, you were just recently selected to be a new member of the leadership team for SkillsUSA, our career and technical student organization. So if you could just tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like, and then we're going to pose a question to James.
All right, so one of the most amazing things about SkillsUSA and basically all of our CTSOs is the amount of leadership opportunities you get. I have currently been appointed as a leader in training, so I will be assigned a leadership position next year for SkillsUSA, and this year I'm getting trained on kind of how the organization works and our internal systems. For me, that means getting comfortable with my team, getting comfortable with talking with my team. We recently had 2 leadership conferences, which were absolutely amazing. We focused on teamwork, communication, the framework of our system. We had people from all over the nation there. We had people from different states and different counties, different chapters. It was amazing. And part of being a leader in training is learning how to be flexible and adaptable, especially during a pandemic. And that's difficult, but it's what's happening. And part of SkillsUSA is learning how to deal with that. And I feel like we've been trained very well, and we all kind of have each other's backs going into it. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, but we have each other, and that's always worked out for us before. And so we've taken it preemptively. We've worked as hard as we possibly can, and it's really paying off for us. We've seen a lot of progress. We've kept most of our membership, and it's been an amazing year so far, despite everything that's been going on. And I've really enjoyed my time as a leader in training, and as I enjoy taking the leadership position, and I don't regret it at all. It's been amazing. So I highly encourage you guys to get involved in your CTSOs, even if it's not in a leadership position, but definitely to take notice of that and to understand that those are positions that you guys should be looking into even in your sophomore years, because they're going to be amazing, especially down the road.
Excellent. Thank you, Abby. I will point out that we did just do two days of fall leadership conference, and there were people from all over the nation, but it was a virtual conference. So we're being very careful during the pandemic. So I'm going to send this to Mrs. Scroggs. Thank you, Abby.
So our next question is posed to James. James, you are a sophomore in both the criminal investigations and the applications of law pathways. How have the pathway classes helped you improve your confidence level and speaking skills, specifically in front of adults and your peers?
Well, thank you for the nice introduction, Ms. Scruggs. Yeah, to answer that question, just a year ago, I was a freshman in the Intro to Law pathway class, and I volunteered one night to do some public speaking and information night for Ms. McCormick because she needed some help. And I did all 3 of those last year, and I'm much better at speaking with adults along with kids my age, my peers, kids in my classes, anything like that. I feel that Ms. McCormick enjoys having me speak about the pathway, about the school for her. She says that I do a good job of representing the school, so that's always nice to hear.
And yes, I will say that James does an absolutely excellent job of representing the school. Okay, back to Mrs. Scruggs. Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. Actually, we just got a spectacular question that just popped up in the Q&A. We take for granted that we know exactly what Skills USA is, and we talk about Skills USA all the time, but we kind of take for granted that you guys really don't know. So my next question is going to be posed to Varun, because Varun is a Skills USA leader here at Alliance Academy for Innovation. He's been a leader for the last, actually this is his 3rd year being a leader, and he's doing great. So the next question is going to Varun, and Varun, the question is, what is Skills USA? Varun, I believe your mic is muted.
Sorry about that, guys. Amazing question. Thank you, Ms. Scruggs, for the introduction and the notice. Skills USA is a career and technical student organization, and that basically means that we try to promote technical skills and soft skills to prepare students for the workforce. We're alongside other CTSOs like FBLA, DECA, robotics and things like that. And the difference with Skills USA and everything else is that other organizations, CTSOs, usually kind of emphasize upon the technical skills that prepare people for the workplace. And we do a little bit of that, but mostly focus upon the soft skills, which help people no matter what pathway they're going into. And this is why Skills USA is the most versatile CTSO at Alliance. We have the biggest membership at our school. And the reason for that is because members really like our chapter. We emphasize things like public speaking. We emphasize things like communication, which really can apply to every single workplace profession. We serve aerospace students. We serve, law students. And it really is an amazing organization. And the 3 core pillars of what we do is social events, community service events, chapter meetings, and a 4th one would be competitions. We really do prepare students for their lives, the workforce, lives ahead. Thank you very much for the question.
Excellent job, Varun. Thank you for explaining that so well. And I got to say, our students are doing a great job. We're throwing these questions at them, and they're answering live on the air. So I kind of love that. So I'm going to tell Abby to get ready for this next one. Abby, you've been, you're now in, as we talked about, you're now in 2 different pathways. Other than the pathways, can you kind of explain or give your personal feelings about what really separates Alliance Academy from other schools?
So one of the best things about Alliance is that we are a very tight-knit group. We have less students. We have we have more teachers in comparison to the number of students. So it's really, you have a very specific group of people that you're spending your 4 years here at Alliance with. Those people are in your pathway. And even though you might switch pathways, you're still going to see those people, and you know who those people are. You see the same teachers all the time. You see the same students all the time. You see this giant family, and you keep them close to you, and it makes an amazing makes for an amazing atmosphere at our school, because we're all so passionate about what we want to do, and we help everyone else figure it out. And it's truly amazing because you get to spend your time around other people, and all they want to do is what you want to do. And so we end up doing things that no one else even thinks is possible, because we're not focusing on the, oh, hey, can we do it? We're focused on the, hey, we can do it. Now, how do we do it?
Excellent. Wow, what a great answer. What a great answer. And within our pathways, I think one of the advantages that those of us that teach the career pathways have are that we get to see our same students grow through 3 years within our pathway, and it's amazing the relationships that you build with students, the bonds that we have with them, that they have with each other. It's just absolutely fantastic to be able to build on that year after year. Some of you, when you were in elementary school, may have had a teacher loop with you and go to the next grade level. So that's kind of what we feel like we get to do, and it's just such an amazing feeling to be able to see the growth in our students from their freshman year on. And I'm going to go to Mrs. Scroggs for our next question.
Thank you, Mrs. McCormick. And Abby, that was an excellent answer. James, you, like we said before, you are in both the criminal investigations and the applications of law pathway. In each of the pathways, what are you looking forward to most?
Well, to answer that question, I look forward to not only continuing to learn about the Constitution and the law and the rights that we are given as citizens here in the United States. I'm excited to see how I can take those, take the things that I've learned from my law pathway with Ms. McCormick and apply them into my criminal justice essentials class with Ms. Scroggs. So learning about specifically the Fourth Amendment and the First Amendment, your rights against unreasonable searches and seizures, along with the right to speech, and learning about how I can take those from law and apply them into criminal justice, so I can learn, where I can use the Fourth Amendment, and then where I can use the First Amendment. The rights that I have, what I can say, when I can say it, and stuff like that.
Fantastic answer, James. Thank you. He has that unique perspective because both Mrs. Scroggs and I talk about the fact that we absolutely both love the Constitution and we love talking about constitutional issues. So it's great he gets the two different perspectives, because we talk about how the Constitution comes into play once something gets to court or is in the preliminary stages of a trial, whereas Mrs. Scroggs talks a lot about the constitutional requirements that police officers have with regard to arrests and with search and seizure, and so it's great that James has that unique perspective. All right, I believe Mrs. Scroggs has another question for our students.
I do. It's for Varun. Varun, you as a junior are in the 3rd year of the applications of law pathway, and that is Mrs. McCormick's pathway. What is your favorite aspect of the pathway?
Thank you for the question, Mrs. Scroggs. I think my favorite aspect of that pathway is probably perspective that is brought up during class. As Ms. McCormick talked about before, discussion is a really important part of our curriculum, and we really habilitate a lot of discussion around our classroom, different perspectives. For example, we just had an opening statement kind of trial motion, as you guys saw in the video. In our classroom, we had different perspectives on a similar issue. We had the prosecution, defense, they both had different perspectives on the issue. We talked about, like I said before, we talked about drug regulations that we may implement as a municipality. We had different perspectives on that issue. So I think it's really facilitating perspectives on issues, and interpretation is a really important part of our curriculum. And I think that's a major part of where our classroom is and what I value a lot about it. And I think that everybody can learn a little bit about themselves and law pathway and just municipalities through learning about perspective.
Excellent. I apologize, Varun. I didn't have you on camera for part of that answer, but it was an excellent answer. So thank you. We are getting very close to the end of our presentation. I think that I speak for both Mrs. Scroggs and myself that we could have our students talk to you guys just for an hour about their experience here. We're so used to seeing people come through here and just literally pack our courtroom and asking our students lots and lots of questions. So we would love if you have any more questions. We're about to close out this session, but we're going to have another informational night on, I believe, December the 2nd, if that is a correct date. Mrs. Scroggs is confirming that for me now. You're welcome to join us again. You can also email Mrs. Scroggs or myself with any questions you have. She is at hscroggs@forsyth.k12.ga.us, and I'm at dmccormick@forsyth.k12.ga.us. And we have about a minute left. I'm going to let, thank you. I have Mrs. Scroggs' email wrong. hscroggs07@forsyth.k12.ga.us. Okay, and with that, it is 7:30. And we're coming to the end of our session. So we just really want to thank everyone. And I just, I'm applauding our students. They are just so fantastic. I'm so proud of all three of them for handling the questions that they did. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to have you apply to our school.